Hey guys, so this is tonight's show. This sensor here is leaking. I got it all cleaned off and everything. But what I'm doing here is I'm gonna take this. I've got it blocked up in a kind of sketchy way. I've got to loosen this collar, and then we've got a Schrader valve inside this valve here. So I'm gonna loosen this collar, and then I'm gonna use this here, once this is all tight, I'm gonna use this to control my flow. And I'm gonna bring this down until there's no pressure left in it. And then I'm safe to pull this out, which is literally hand tight. I'm safe to pull this out. And we're just gonna reseal it, put it back in. And hopefully that'll fix the leak. Like I said, this is literally movable right now, so I imagine that would be the problem. So with this style Schrader valve, you actually loosen this collar, and then you're gonna run it in, and inside there's another little piece that's gonna allow pressure to come out to this Schrader valve here. So it's kind of double safe. You also have these where there is no second Schrader valve, and then you just use this that I'm turning right now for control. I'm lucky where I can actually control it here, which I like doing a little bit better. So now I've got this all set up. I can actually use this. I'm gonna move myself out of the way to just slowly drain pressure out, and then it should rest nicely on my sketchily set up blocks. And then all we're gonna do to lift it up after is we're gonna fill this back up with nitrogen, and it should come back up to height. Let me pull my sketchily set up blocks out, and we'll have replaced this. The reason that I blocked this instead of letting it go all the way down is this actually has an oiling height, and we don't want to get below the oiling height because this will start spraying out oil. It already actually has a little bit of oil coming out, but that's not a big deal. It'll spray out my last inch or whatever it is on this truck of oiling height, and then you're screwed. This strut actually seems like it might have been a little bit low on nitrogen pressure, but I'm gonna check this one as well. So there's the sensor removed. I wanted to show you guys this. So you see that little divot in there? That's actually to release pressure, but that's a fail-safe. I don't suggest, I strongly suggest we use these to drain down our pressure every time, because I can direct my nitrogen pressure, and if by chance somebody over-oiled this and we're gonna get a bath, we've now directed this in a way that we're not going to get soaked, right? The other thing I wanted to show you is that's your O-ring failure there. This was actually hand tight, which is funny because of this. We know that whoever installed this installed it hand tight because it was stuck where it was. But eventually the O-ring just couldn't fight that pressure anymore, and it looks like it delammed. So I matched this O-ring in here. Something cool about cat kits, well, cats period, you actually have a little number on them. This one unfortunately was too damaged, but I was able to match it up and then put that in there. And then something else I suggest, guys, get yourself some 111 compound or whatever similar. It's basically a silicone O-ring grease. I suggested it increases the life, and especially with this, with nitrogen air on the other side of it, it's going to be in a very dry environment. You're not going to have that oil helping out with your seal. And then I'm going to finish this up with a zap strap like that around the whole thing, and we should be done. And then we're going to throw some air to it, set our pressure and height. Okay guys, this is the finished repair. ORB. I put a zap strap here like this. For the next guy is able to just cut it right off if they need to change the sensor or something. 111 on my ORB O-ring, and up to here I put a little bit of 111 on the seal here too. And then now what I'm going to do is close up this charging valve. I'm going to attach to this charging valve, and I'm going to set my strut height. Stay tuned. Okay, so here's the spec we're looking for. We're on a 777. I'm looking for ride height pin to pin and that is 40.5 plus or minus half an inch. And you should have a regulator capable of 350 psi. But take note, we're doing this wrong, for one thing. That's the first note I want to say. You should have this on a flat surface and at least do the struts in pairs, so rear as a pair or front as a pair. But in reality, you should be doing all four. We don't have that capability today. So the second thing to note is that we're not actually going off pressure. This is just an ideal pressure your regulator should be able to do. We're going off of the height measurement. So when it reaches that height, while an inch below it, we're going to stop charging. Okay, as previously stated, we're set up here. We've got this open. Obviously, this was completely drained. Then I've got this set up. We've got 2K in here. And then all we're gonna do is start turning this up. But this is where this job gets a little bit busy, because we have to remember, we have to measure from the center of this bolt to the center of that bolt as we go, because we're not going off of what pressure is holding, we're going off of height. Okay guys, so we got our height. So first thing I'm gonna do is close this collar in the back, and then I'm gonna actually hit it with a wrench too. Make sure it's nice and tight before I start pulling this rig off. And then the other thing I always do is don't open this up yet. I take this, make sure it's shut, and then we're going to break this loose. I'm going to break this loose and let our residual drain out of it. And you can see it draining down there. And there you go. Once I put this cap on, this truck is up and this repair is complete, and then I just have to clean up the other guy's setup.